Hello, this is Blit Paint version 0.31. In this version I've added the ability to load in your own sprites. So if you first Alt Tab in and back out because of the Wacom tablet thing, but click one of these little pluses and you can load in your own sprite sheet. It's important to notice the size of these sprite sheets need to be 4096 by 256. Each little sprite is 256 by 256 and they're just placed equally across the way. Okay, so that will load in this little image automatically. Make sure you fill up all the images, even if you do have duplicates, otherwise you'll get spaces, and if you want spaces that's fine. Okay, so you can see I can draw these sprites here, but the problem is the axis is in the middle and I want it to be further down. So if you press the number pad key, you press 2, you can see it goes to the bottom there. It's not automatic, it actually goes to about 85% down the way, and if you press 8 in the number pad keypad, then you'll see it goes to the top. But that's pretty useful. So with Control R on, I'm just going to clear that layer. You can see I can now make little branches like this. So you can now load in your own brushes, but it won't remember the brushes. There's no way to save them. I've been trying a few things and I've not had any luck with it. There's no real way to automate that. So it's just the way it is. If you want to make some art, load in your brushes. As long as you've got them set up that way, it doesn't take long to load. So I can load in the same one if I wanted. And there you go. So I've got 2 brushes and how they're offset is also remembered. So that's pretty useful. You can set different spacing and things. So you can have one do one thing and one do another. It doesn't have to be the same brush obviously, but it gives you different settings that way, so you can kind of create variations of the same brush. They're both affected by color, so you choose the colors that you want and you can draw with those. Oh, and if you press enter, it draws everything again. It's pretty nice. It's a good way to get a kind of build up of a scene. If you've made loads of stuff, you just press enter. Now that's limited by your undo memory, and it's prone to little defects of losing opacity if you're not using a background. So make sure you fill the background first, always a good thing. Opacity is your friend with that. So I'm just going to do some drawing here. Let's choose that brush. You can see it looks a bit different. Let's choose a couple of tones. Control R will turn off that rotational feature. Scale up a bit. Okay, kind of forest thing happening. You can press tab to show the UI here, and I can get some, just want some leaf shapes. Yeah, these ones. Control R and it's going to move around with it. Let's go a slightly lighter tone for the grass here. And if I press enter, you see it draws all that, and it looks a bit better. If you hold down F and draw, it's going to draw with this kind of lighter mode, and hopefully it should remember that. Yep. When you press enter, it kind of draws things a little bit stronger, slightly different algorithm, and it's just for fun. Let's choose some more brushes, and yeah, make these really big. Now I don't actually like the offset of this, so I'm going to do Shift R. That's a little bit better, and increase the spacing. Where's the spacing? Here. And scattering, actually. Let's do add with holding down F. Okay, I think I've got another nice brush. This one. Let's do a lot of scatter on this. Scatter by pressure doesn't really matter too much. Rotational range, yep. I'm going to choose a couple of tones and I'm going to work in the layer above just in case this doesn't work out. And F. And you can kind of get these little kind of glowy things. Now, one thing to note is the effect really needs particles there to work. So if I do Shift C, it's only going to clear that layer. It's not going to get rid of the undo history. So I'm just going to disable undo by pressing O. And that's good. I'm going to clear that layer. Undo shouldn't do anything. Replay hopefully doesn't do anything. Okay, so I'm going to draw in some of these little glows a different way. First I'm going to press 1, and this is very subtle. It's almost like an underwash. You're not going to see this too easily, but I've just done a kind of underwash, right? You don't see it. Very subtle. But as I do F now and draw with a decent opacity, he's going to pick it up a little bit better. Let me try that again. There we go, a little bit of a glow like that. That helps. Okay, then I do F on this bit. 0 opacity. Let's see. Yeah, it just picks it up a little bit better. You can also bake everything down. If you press B, everything goes to the same level, and things will work a bit better then as well. If you do draw anything on this layer and you want to get rid of it, you can hold down the right mouse button and draw, and it should remove it like that. It's only whatever I've drawn on that layer. Okay, what else is new? So we can load brushes, and did initially have the ability to stamp these, but just delete and use a new layer. Put the spacing up, and you just kind of want to just draw a little bit. Let's get a soft brush. Should have a soft brush here. This one's pretty good, and go a layer above. And just a little bit glow like that. Go a layer above again. And then F to add. There's a nice little glow. You can also make lines and things, so I could take these and do X and sort of expand them a bit. S to scale them up. And I can maybe draw in, let's see, this layer. Black pillars like that. Again, right click, can remove them a bit. Right click and draw, that is. If I don't want them to scale, I can press M and they'll keep the same size. Okay, I can erase with less opacity and it will make them fade a little bit. There's a few things to get used to that makes it a little bit quirkier than using Photoshop. So loads of brushes that you can mess around with and you can add in your own. Just make sure you set them up a certain way. That's what I managed to create in very little time at all. Nice little magical garden, a lantern, and it's good for getting ideas out there. So if I go into Photoshop, you'll see I have this document set up this way where the grid itself is 256, right? And then I've done subdivision 2 just so that you know where the center point is. You can see, no idea why that's white, but you can see how I've organized these. The whole document is 4096 pixels by 256 high, and each of these squares is 256 by 256. So if you draw these in like that, then you will get what you want. Now I'll just make a real quick one just so you can see what's happening. You just want to draw on transparency, but you can have one of your layers black so you can see what they're drawn, but as long as you export with transparency it will remain that way. So I'm just going to draw some little speckles. Just make sure that's switched off yet. And I don't know what these might be used for, but it'd be interesting to see. Next one is that one. And then I can make these really small. I can barely see them. There we go. So that's me got a little brush set there, and I'm going to call this sparkle or something. So save it as a sheet like that. Sparkles. And then back into Blit Paint. And you can switch over to the custom brushes. Now you see it doesn't keep the previous ones, but you're basically starting a new session each time. Okay, there's no way to save. And that's now loaded those brushes, and you see it mixes between them. If you want to change the offset, just press 8 or 2 or 5 to go back in the middle for the keypad. Okay, and it's better to work on a gradient backdrop. So if you left click then right click, you'll get a gradient like that, and then you can paint away. Change tones. Change the opacity. Press F while you draw for additive effect. B will bake it all down, and you can still kind of add on top of that. H to hide. Tab to bring back a little bit if you want, and let go of tab, it takes it away. H to unhide. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoy using Blit Paint. This is going to be version 0.31. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.